What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night, last Thursday night of the year, and you are watching Doc Talk. You guys were worried about messing up, and I just played the completely wrong intro for the entire thing. So don't feel bad at all. You guys just got to watch the Orion intro for the Orion podcast, but we played it on Doc Talk tonight anyway. So see, I've already screwed it up out of the gate. So you guys are fine. We've
Wasn't
got
too
a
bad.
couple. We've got a couple newbies here tonight with us. Some viewers that are now on the show, and then we're bringing back the one and only Ram Garcia from the Spooled Life. So let's introduce the newbies. We'll go with Jeremy first, alphabetical order in the last name.
All right, what's
I'm
going
so
on,
glad
guys?
he's going first.
I'm Jeremy from Northeast Texas, fishing a Jackson kayak Nar. Fish a lot of local lakes around here and trails. Just say what's up to everybody. That's pretty much all I got, man.
Dale, what's going on, man?
Evening, everybody. Dell Patton, Sooner born, Sooner bred. Got the game right atop above the computer. So if I keep looking up, the game's a lot closer than I expect. You keep showing those horns, Jeremy. Don't make me show everybody what T-shirt I got on.
I don't do it.
But working with Oklahoma City Kayak, Dave Lindo, great guy, great team with Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and currently in a Kusa HD that I got exactly a year ago.
Very cool. Very cool. Man, you guys have how was that cold snap for y'all? I mean, did you enjoy that?
Well, last Friday, we took off to the mother-in-law's in Atlanta, so it was really fun putting gas in the car in 5-degree weather every couple
can
hours. So it
imagine.
was. I got a big trip planned tomorrow with some guys. It's supposed to be about 60. It'll be very nice.
Yeah, it was like 72 today here.
I got the winter shorts on. I ain't even gonna lie. The one, the only, Ram Garcia. Tell us a little bit about you. Refresh the people.
Well, I'm back, everybody. Right. Our cold snap wasn't too much. You know, we had to take the jacket out and get the beanies out, but it was more to kick the dust off of them than anything. You know what I mean? A little bit about myself. I'm Ram Garcia, coming from Corpus Christi, Texas. Good old Corpus Christi, home of Whataburger, home of the Selena statue, home of the Trade Center, right? I'm also part of the Jackson team, of course, the Jackson regional team. I am on a NAR, right? Beast of a kayak. Fishability is up there at a 10 from a scale of 0 to 10, right? 10 being the best. It is a fast kayak, light kayak. I went from a big rig HDFD to the NAR, and surprisingly to me, it's a little bit lighter on the pull off the truck, right? I really don't care how heavy a boat is on the water. We've all kind of transitioned into motors and all that stuff, So to me, what I see in a kayak is bringing it off the truck, right? At 40 years old already, That's what I have to think about now, and surprisingly it's lighter to me. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to be, but to me it is. But yeah, I'm also the host of Spooled Life Live. If you haven't checked it out, we got some good stuff coming in 2023. We're getting the Orion coolers iced up, ready
sir.
Ready for the New Year's event.
And check out the Spooled Life group page there on Facebook tonight, and get in there, and then you guys can listen to the Spooled Life Live session. How often are you guys on?
We try to go on twice a month. Sometimes holidays get in the way, life gets in the way, right? Most of our viewers are from out of town, and if y'all have noticed, our show is a live show, capital letters live. So it's hard to get the guests in to the studio, right? We might be doing traveling a little bit, just to get the viewers, get the guests that cannot travel into Corpus Christi, right? But we try to do at least 2 shows a month, separate about a week or 2 in between, just to get the flyer out, just to get everybody to get their vacation slips in, or to leave out of work early or find a sitter, stuff like that,
Absolutely. Now, obviously, it's the last Thursday, 2022. We guys got planned? Big New Year's plans? Any more fishing trips before this thing counts down to 0 there on the 31st Saturday? Because I had to look.
Definitely got a trip planned tomorrow. Some guys from Oklahoma kayak anglers are going to meet me, and we're going to get some fish tomorrow. Finish the year the right way.
That is solid, man. I would like to get out, but I guess I did. It was a little icy, but the big blue sled ain't going across that ice just yet.
Yeah, today was our last day for me. I gotta start rigging the NAR out a little bit more with all the yak power stuff and lights and power control systems and all that, so that it's ready to go for next season. So we've got some stuff coming up in January. There's a South Texas event on Fayette. It's a big bass, every hour paid out, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
And then on the 22nd on Rayburn is it's like the old school rattle trap event where you have to use a rattle trap bait for the whole
I'm down.
time.
Sign me up.
Sounds good to me too.
It's like rattle trap, Yamamoto, steel shad, and buckeye are all the only baits you can use in that whole tournament.
So let's start here with this $1 million question. How do you like to fish the rattle trap? Let's go around the room here. Let's get a little input from everybody. How do you like to fish the rattle trap? There's a few different ways.
Me first.
Whoever wants to field it.
Man, I hardly ever fish rattle traps, but we used to troll them offshore. They make like a 3-inch or almost a 4-inch rattle trap, and that's what we used to troll for kingfish offshore here in Corpus. But inshore, wow. Not even hardly. I don't think I've ever used a rattle trap inshore here.
I bet Dustin uses
I should
one.
start. Yeah, Dustin uses about everything in the tackle shop. And I used to be like that. I read a post earlier today on how what you take fishing and stuff. What tackle do you take and stuff like that. I used to be the guy to where I wanted everything with me. I would take my black box with me, and it had everything. It weighed about 50 pounds, and I would catch myself only using a certain brand or a certain color every time I went out. So I've slowly started to, I need to rig light. You know what I mean? I don't have to take everything anymore. I had like 9 rods with me. I would only use like 1, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that definitely happens. How about you, Jeremy? How you fish a rattle trap? What's your technique?
Kind of depends on the type of year, situation. Like at the NC year before last on Caddo, I was burning it through the top of grass, catching a limit within an hour of the event. all 3 days. And during the wintertime, the lake we just got off of locally, I'll throw it, let it drop a few feet, and then kind of slow crank it back in, bounce it off bottom of trees and stuff like that. So it just kind of depends on what they're looking for, really, and where the fish are. But yo-yoed it a few times on underwater bridge. Just different, all the above, I guess.
There you go. There you go. But you, Dale.
Chrome with a blue back, chunk and wind, pause every now and then, rip wrap, trees, doesn't matter.
That chrome and blue back is a secret.
Now, see it. I've been on the golden blue back or golden black back. That's kind of been my one that I've had the most success with here lately. Always before it was silver black back. For me, it's a burn and pause. You know, I just burn it and then just kill it dead, burn it, kill it dead. And it always seems like just the second that it stops, it's always fun to watch them, because the second you kill that, you just see that fish just boom, and they'll just hammer that dude. And that's probably the most fun way that I like to fish them things, is just, I don't have a lot of patience some days.
It's more of a freshwater scene bait, right?
Oh,
I think they have a saltwater series, you know, beefed up hooks and stuff like that. But I think that's more catered to the freshwater scene.
Yeah, I could see where it'd be beneficial in both. I'll be honest with you. I've thrown a spinnerbait and a rattle trap in saltwater. It's because I was in Tampa and I had nothing else that I could find that I knew what the heck it was at the moment. And I just went to the local Dick's Sporting Goods and just bought bass and stuff and went through it in the ocean, because that's what I knew. So with that being said, we talked about wrapping up 2022 here. What's on the docket for 23? What do you guys got going on?
Keep pushing, man. We're going to keep pushing the show. Keep pushing content, of course. I might do a little traveling, like I said earlier. The tournament scene's about to pick up again here on the coast. I would like to see a little bit more offshore tournaments. You know, they kind of took those away from us years past. But hopefully somebody will pick up the ball and run with it and bring those back to. Hell, we're surrounded by surf, you know, and all we see is inshore tournaments. You know, maybe we could see something like that in 2023.
Yeah, generally, I mean, out where you guys are all at, Texas area, man, it's getting ready to kick off.
Yep.
I mean, you guys will have bassing season going. You'll have all your redfish and trout and all that fun stuff. It's going to be hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might venture off into the freshwater scene this 2023. I'm not sure. It depends how I wake up January 1st. But
you're going to wake up with goals, bud.
Right.
You're going to wake up with some goals.
Yeah.
New Year's resolution, catch bass.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But I don't know, man. I've always said the shows I've done with you all, I've told myself that I was going to get into the freshwater scene, and I still haven't, and I need to. So if y'all are watching and want to take me, slide into my DMs. Right?
Slide into Ram's DMs for a fishing trip of a lifetime.
Just come
Come on up to Oklahoma. We'll take you fishing.
Yeah, right.
We'll take you tomorrow.
Yeah, take you tomorrow. Meet at the ramp, 9:00. You might want to wear some warm clothes.
Uh-huh.
There's only one breed of freshwater too.
There's not, actually.
No, there's not. There's several.
Yeah.
And that's a reminder to the audience as well. Audience, any of these guys that you want to ask questions, folks at home, ask away. We'll pick them up in the comments, throw them up on the screen, and you guys can grill these guys just the same as they can grill each other with Doc Talk there. There are no weird questions. Well, I tell you, there is weird questions. There can be weird questions.
Those are the good ones, though.
Those are usually the good ones. We've had a few that's like we all have to sit there and read and study and try to figure out exactly what they're saying. Yeah,
Google search, like, what does that even mean?
That's why I keep a tablet sitting right here, just lit up. I set it on the 10-minute timer so I could just tap the screen every now and then, keep that thing lit up in case I need it. let's see. We got a question coming in actually from Jeremy Baker. Ask Jeremy Baker if there is actually any fish in Martin Creek. We got to hear this story. What you got in Martin Creek?
So a couple weeks ago, I went to Martin Creek, put up like 50 fish. I mean, just they were on fire. So Dwayne's got some time off. Dwayne went up to Martin Creek today. We went up there also, and it was a struggle fest, man. Like I think he caught 10 or 11, no real big ones or anything. I think the biggest one he caught was a 17 or 18. But I told him to throw a gold buzzbait, and I showed up with a black and gold buzzbait. Third cast caught a fish, and then on the fifth cast caught a fish. And it was a struggle, man. The wind blew him all over the place in his kayak. The rain came in hard. We had storms blow in with like 20-something mile-an-hour winds on us. So myself and Jamie Broad, who some of you guys know, were in Jamie Broad's boat. And by the time we made it back to where he was fishing and we were all going to hang out and fish, myself and Jamie both were soaked. Just 60-degree water covered head to toe.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it was fun, though. But, yeah, he didn't exactly kill it today, but he did catch fish. There's fish in Martin Creek.
Next one is for Dale. What's the secret bait for tomorrow, Dale?
Well, that's from Big Mike. And of all people to ask that question, he won the tournament this last summer on the lake we're going to. So I'm hoping he'll show up and tell me what that secret lure is for tomorrow. But, yeah, great question, Mike. Thanks.
Next up, we got the man, Russell Johnson. How do I get my first redfish? Oh, boy. Ram.
That's got to be for one of the other guys, probably, right? Man, you got to keep casting. They're definitely out there. To me, the redfish is more of a summertime, springtime species. You know, they're there year round. But this time of the year, of course, with the temperatures dropping and stuff, we're after the speckled trout, right? Big speckled trout. And how to catch the redfish? What I use is JRZ paddle tails, right? They're made here in Texas, McAllen, Texas, I believe. Pearl chartreuse tail, throw it out on the edges. That's where I usually like to start off. Most of the time you could see them. 90% of the fish I catch, I see before I even attempt to target it, right? Yeah. On the edges, start with the edges, work yourself into the deep. Most of the time your hits will come off the edges.
Or you just call Ram and Dustin and just set up that fishing trip and let them boys take you out, Russell, and put you on the big ones. Which one of you guys are chefs here tonight? I know Ram's not a chef.
Nope.
No chefs in the house tonight? It seems
No,
like every time we have one of these episodes, it's like we're talking about food for like half the episode because somebody's got this big chef thing going on. It's like
now,
everybody.
if you want to talk burgers and steaks,
right?
I'm the master outside on the grill.
If it's on a
diesel,
diesel,
everything inside.
If it's part of the pig's stomach, you know, or the pig's skin or anything like that,
there you go.
I am your man. Right.
There you go.
If it's like if it's gonna come with some refried beans or something like that, then for sure I got you.
I just feel like any time there's a Jackson kayak thing, every time I see a picture with Jameson in it and he's around everybody down south, he's got a plate. There's food involved. There's either grill smoking or something. So I need to start traveling more.
Yeah, Lance and Russell Johnson are both chefs, man. Lance cooks off the chain. His food's great. If you don't ever get a chance, go out there in Tyler, Texas, his restaurant at Culture ETX.
And if this podcast goes south, I can always start chef talk, I guess, because I know a bunch of dudes that cook. So, you know, if kayak fishing business doesn't work out for me or I get bored with it, we'll go to chef talk.
Yep.
Get what's in your lunchbox, Ram.
Catch and cook kind of deal.
Hey, I'm down. That's one of the things that we talked about last week was doing a podcast live, like with the StreamYard set up, and actually have a couple dudes out on the water catching fish for a catch and cook on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
be interesting.
Man, you almost took my idea. On the last
no
show,
pressure to
on
no
the
pressure
last
to
show
catch
we
the
did,
fish, though.
No pressure
we had
at all.
Right?
we had
Really
a
starved.
full send barbecue supplied us with some venison sausage, and they're local as well, Corpus Christi. Shout out to them. But we were thinking about, it would be cool to have like a hibachi type person in the background whipping some stuff up while the live show is going on, and he's bringing us plates and samples of what he's cooking and stuff, like, you know what I mean, and interacting with the viewers. What are y'all eating now? Oh, we're trying this and we're trying that. We're throwing it at the camera to, we're telling the viewers to open their mouth, and we're throwing it to their mouths like a real hibachi, saltwater hibachi scene kind of deal.
I'd be down with that, man. That'd be
Right.
funny. So big goals, 2023. And you guys get to head this up first because, this is the last show of the year. So what is, when you look at, two of you are new to the Jackson Kayak team, Ram's got an up and coming growing podcast. What's the big goal for this next year? Like, where do you see yourself headed? Where are you trying to head into this new year?
All right, I'll go first then. Believe it or not, I know Ram said he was 40. I'll be 50 this year, and the goal is to fish my first tournament ever is this year. And so Oklahoma's actually split the state now. They've got a Western division, which will be closer to me. So at least one tournament, if not 2 or 3.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got the Northeast Texas Kayak Bass League. It's a trail we've been running. It'll be the 3rd year. I'm trying to go big. Lake Fork, Toledo Bend, Rayburn, Caddo. Trying to throw the big lakes out there and see what we can come up with. Try to do good in that. And then there's a All-American coming to Texas. They're fishing Lake of the Pines in March. It's kind of my home lake, so my goal is to be one of those home lake winner guys. But I know there's like a curse on national events. Like when they go to your home water, you like completely crap out. So we'll see if I can break that curse.
Not always, man. Not always. There's always faith. Come on.
Yeah.
You got
last year at Broken Bow, top 5 were almost local guys.
Yeah, the hardest part is going, man. Just getting out there and doing it. That's the hardest part for me. For 2023, I just want to live. I want to grow. I want to live. I might get into the seminar scene for my dealer, Roy's Bait and Tackle here in Corpus Christi. I want to do that.
Fabulous dealer.
I want to, of course, I'm already in the tournament scene. I might jump in a little bit more in depth, I guess, travel, right? I try Upper Coast, Florida, around there. Florida's got a whole bunch of the offshore tournaments that we don't have. And, of course, all the offshore anglers that are here have to travel to fish that style of tournament. I want to jump into that. Of course, grow my show, right? Spoiled Life Live. If you haven't checked it out, right? We're gonna jump into YouTube scene. I know that's one of my pet peeves of the YouTubers.
Oh,
right?
You guys got a different YouTuber in Texas means a little something different right now than it does most places.
Yeah.
So you'll have to explain that. What would we call him? We would call him a Googan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's what most people around here call them. Whereas you guys call them YouTubers.
Yeah, the tubers. Yeah. There's I don't know, man. There's a fine line. When I say YouTubers, I'm talking about the guys, and I don't know how controversial you want to get this show, but I'm talking about the guys that are like Patreoner guys that are giving away coordinates and stuff like that, right? Along the lines with the YouTuber that's going to give away the backgrounds, there's not a lot of water, and it's probably even, I say, right, I'm not a freshwater fisherman, but it's probably even worse in the freshwater scene because there's not too many places to hide on a lake. You're basically in a circle of water, right? So when the YouTuber comes and gives away the background, it's just instant backlash, and then why did you do that? Oh my God, I'm gonna unsubscribe to this dude, and then I'm just gonna resubscribe to it because I want to see what else he's gonna put out there. It's a give. Yes, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, but not in that scene, right? I feel my show, we go live on Facebook twice a month. It's hard for the viewers to go back to day one. Brand new viewer. It's hard for them to go back to day one and they miss all the greatness we've had for the past 2 years, right? Or year and a half. So I feel like on YouTube, I can, kind of sort these things, and it's easier for the guests just to scroll to show number 1 and start checking it out. I want to grow that. I want to dissect that a little bit better than I have it now. Not that it's bad now, right? But I just want to make it easier for the viewer. Now, and then I might start my own cooking channel. I don't know now.
You might as well start your own cooking channel. Now, talking about guys that leave the background in, that's kind of a good topic, really. I mean, being a lake guy and knowing what I know about the lakes, there's not too many hidden spots on that old local lake anymore. I mean, it's kind of like everybody just kind of knows that, like, this is like, I mean, you see it in the big boat tournaments. You see pros, the Elite Series, they'll sit on top of each other at certain events and just everybody's cast into the same old honey hole. And, on the course of a day on a big lake, you pretty much see everybody hit their spot because, it's a cycle. One guy hits it, he leaves. 5 minutes later, another guy comes rolling in there. Oh, yes, there's nobody here. Drops the trolling motor, and he's on that spot. Yep. Or same thing with kayaks. We put in, and 2 big boats have already pushed through there by the time we got there. So do you think there's any, like, hidden spots actually left out there that, that random Joe don't know about?
Oh, I guarantee it. I got a couple hidden secret spots.
Definitely
I don't
not
know.
down here. Not in Southwest Oklahoma, there's not.
If it is a secret spot, he could be 50 yards from me, right? And not, or it may not be a secret spot, but does he know how to fish it correctly, right? Or fish it the right way, or be there at the right time, or give that water the right presentation at that time, right? Is there secret spots? I don't know. Yes, I think.
Yeah, I think it's all about knowing how to present it, like, when you're in that spot.
Right.
It's just, they react different on different times. If you know their patterns to certain weather conditions and somebody else uses like an opposite technique because the weather pattern says this, but the fish in this lake are weird and they do weird stuff, and you know how that weirdness goes, you'll catch fish and they won't. So it as much, but social media, YouTube, Facebook shorts and all that, reels and stuff that come out, there's probably not any real secretive spots anymore other than somebody's private pond somewhere.
Yeah, now there's money involved. You could easily just start a Patreon account and start giving coordinates away, and people get upset about it. But, on the other end, if they're already giving it away, why don't they just start it too? If I knew all those coordinates already, I'll just start a damn Patreon as well and give those same coordinates away. And whoever's not buying it from him, I'll just do it for $5 cheaper. I'm just playing, right? I'm not going to do nothing like that. But it's that's what media has done to this. Anybody can, I say it all the time on the show, you can be anybody on Facebook nowadays. You don't even have, if I wasn't part of Jackson Kayaks, I can make it seem like I was part of Jackson Kayaks, and nobody would say nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's people that do.
Yeah.
And that's not just our brand. That's multiple brands. It doesn't matter if it's Jackson Kayak, Ranger Boats.
And that's a way to grow, right? That's a way to get seen. I mean, if you don't tag Jackson, if you don't tag whoever, Sarge Custom Rods, I mean, those companies probably would never see you. You know what I mean? Till you tag them, right? And then if I was a businessman, right, I would be like, man, these guys were already tagging me. Why give them anything? You know, I mean, you know, it's a fine line how it works, but it's already gotten so big where everybody does it. You know, when we first started, I say we, the circle I run with,
us old folks,
right? There was the circle we crawl around in, right? There was very few people doing it. You know, there was people doing it. It's not like we started Facebook and we're the creators of Facebook or anything, but there was very few. And now every single post, you know, you'll scroll through the post and it's tags. We go about an hour of tags. You know what I mean? You know, where does it how does it benefit? Right? I've said it on the show too. Where does it benefit from getting 20% off, right? Where does it benefit from getting 10% off? Where does it benefit from getting free % off? You know what I mean? To the angler, right? These companies, they're making money, and it's a business, right? It's our choice to tag, right? They're not making us tag. You say, okay, I just went fishing and I caught this big badass fish. I want people to see it, right? And I want people to see what I caught it on, and I want to see, but is it for the people to see what you caught it on, or is it for the people to go to the dealer to buy what you caught it on? Right. That I feel that's where the whole transition is, you know?
Yeah, that's an interesting topic, one that I don't have all the answers to. I wish I did. I think, anytime talking about baits, the classic always lined up with our spring classic at like a Bass Pro. And, we've had Van Dam come in a couple times and the different things like that. And, say he goes down and he wins on a bait at the classic, and then he'll get up on the fish tank and he'll fish that bait. And just so happened it was the yellow chartreuse blackback red eye shad. And, Bass Pro Shop didn't have any of those left. I think it's about building that credibility for a lot of people. And Van Dam, perfect example. He has a lot of credibility, and he took this bait out. He won with it. Comes into the shop, talks about it. People see the way it works and sees the way that he works it in that fish tank, and boom,
they fly off the shelf.
They fly off the shelf so fast you can't even imagine. But stuff like that, I think, adding credibility to a lot of guys, and it takes that first step. I think that's the big thing for anybody that's out there looking to do it, is don't be scared. Take that first step and be genuine about it, and try to network, and get to know people.
I think companies look for people who are willing to do the extra before they're just handing stuff out too. Like, you don't just go out and say, oh, I want to get, it'd be nice to help get some support to do the things that I love. If, I take pictures, post some comments, hey, I caught it on this or whatever, keep doing it. And then they reach out and they're like, hey, we see you've been putting in work, let's send some stuff your way and add you to a team, give you a discount. You keep doing it, you move it over to where you're fully sponsored and they're loading your shelves up in your garage full of their baits. I think it's all about the work you want to put in for what you're willing to do for it.
I would also add that it's about building those relationships with those companies, those individuals that run those companies, building those relationships first before you even bother to ask for something.
Yeah.
Show that you're actually invested in their business itself.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, you just got to be willing to put in the work. And I think, just building that network of good people and getting to know. And, it's we say a network. It's really a relationship building process. I think at the beginning of it all, these relationships start off, they grow, they blossom, and hopefully they end well for all people. But at the same time, one of the things that I was actually writing in my notepad today is, fishing is a business, and you have to learn at times to separate the friendships from the business. And that's tough. It can be very tough. I mean, you guys have all seen it. You've all dealt with it in this line of work, and it just is. It is what it is sometimes. Budgets change and different things happen. So part of it.
Once money's involved, there's no more friends.
Business is business.
Yeah.
Let's see. On a totally different subject, Dale deserves a lot of credit for sitting there calmly as our Sooners are in a tight ball. I've been waiting on him. to jump up.
Florida State just scored to take the lead again, and I'm dying here. It is kind of tough. It's been back and forth in the third and fourth quarter. Still plenty of time.
Dave Lindo says he's not fooling anybody.
I took my glasses off too, so it wouldn't be as obvious as I'm trying to go up and down with my bike.
Okay, question for Ram from Charlie Bond. How far south do I have to go to catch a peacock bass in Florida on my bucket list? Well, Ram is in Texas.
Yep, I'm not too sure, man.
I know you have to go farther than Pensacola. I was stationed in Destin, and there were no peacock bass there, so it's definitely farther than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could catch them in Texas. Maybe South Texas.
Yeah, I wonder if there is any in South Texas.
I'm not sure.
That's an interesting question, and if not, why are not?
Right.
I think you kind of have to get down. Now, I could be wrong, but I think you have to kind of get down around Miami to get a hold of those dudes in the canals and the different things like that. If I am correct, I don't know.
And they're so bad over there; they're catching them in the sewer drains and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, they are definitely taking over. They're a cool fish, though. I'd like to catch one. They ain't gonna live in my neck of the woods.
Are they invasive?
I think they could be. I mean, a bigger bass that gets bigger than the regular largemouth or smallmouth. So I would say,
do you eat them? Do any of them guys eat them over there?
I don't know if they do or not.
You got the iPad.
Where's Chris Funk at? He would know. I don't know. I don't know if they eat them or not. I've never seen anybody catch and cook one on any TV shows. And Rudy says, yes, they are not native.
There you go.
So, Dustin, what's up, fellas? No, the peacock bass actually comes from the Amazon area. So,
don't they catch them in like Puerto Rico and stuff, like in the?
I don't know. I would like to catch one. I've not caught one.
Groves and stuff.
Yep. Jeremy, huge investor for store in East Texas. We like Jeremy too. He's the new guy.
That's the new Jackson dealer here in East Texas. Very cool store. They do mountain bikes and lots of outdoor stuff, camping gear, truck tent camp stuff. It's a really cool store. If you guys get a chance, swing by there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've actually got, between the three of you guys, we've got some pretty cool shops going on in the house tonight. Dell with OKC, and then Ram, and then Flugers with you, Jeremy. And that's got some good dealers out there.
Yeah, Flugers is they've got a big pond, almost small lake behind the shop. And they're setting it up to where you can demo kayaks there at any time and rent kayaks throughout the day and just paddle around, kick around, do whatever you want to do with them. We're going to work on possibly getting them to stock it with some fish and stuff, get kids involved in it.
Maybe some peacock bass.
I don't know about that. See? But yeah, it's a pretty cool little deal he's got set up, and he's got it set up with the whole city of Longview. So there'll be like a bike trail that runs around the whole pond.
Oh, cool.
It'll be a real cool thing. They'll hold a bunch of events out there. They'll be coming soon. There'll be a bunch of footage shot out there and stuff like that. So
very nice, very nice. And then OKC, Dale, you posted some photos earlier this week of Yeah, it was earlier this week in their showroom, man, and that place is phenomenal.
It's a great place. The best thing about OKC is they're just about a mile from OKC River Sports, where they just held the Red Bull Rapids.
Oh yeah,
there's my daughter. So for whitewater fishing, there's not a better place than OKC Kayak. They've got everything you could imagine, literally from whitewater. The new Nirvana, I got to be there for that unveiling. I heard that Tulsa had the new Coosa X, so I figured in a day it was going to make it to OKC, and sure enough, there it was. So I helped them take that off the trailer and post some photos of the amazing 2023 Playa color. That color is awesome. Yeah, I did that too, Dustin. I went out to the mother-in-law's in Atlanta and realized that her house was within 25 miles of dugout and took off. On Christmas Eve, that place was packed.
These guys are burning up the comments tonight. Keep them coming, fellas. It is great to see you out there in the audience. We appreciate everybody that's watching the show on the live. And for you folks that, let's kind of a segue here. For you folks that do listen to this on the streaming services, Spotify, Samsung, Google Play, or Google Podcast, all those out there, we do this show live every week. So it plays on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, that other thing, Facebook. So if you don't get to see it live, you can always go check that out on YouTube and see some of these questions flowing in that we're answering as we go, which adds a little diversity to the show that you might not get from listening to the after show. Anyway, back to what you guys were saying. Sorry.
Hey, is there the USA Bassin in Oklahoma yet?
Not that I've seen.
Know.
I check every day on USA Bassin just to see. But we do have some great clubs already here. So
right.
Unless one of those guys, who I've seen a few pop up in the comments already, unless one of those guys wants to go up to USA Bassin.
Right.
Right now, we really have some great clubs.
I'm looking for the spreadsheet, actually.
I think we're getting set up in Texas, as far as I know.
Yeah, I do believe there is an individual. We won't mention any names and hang him out to dry just yet, but I believe we've got an individual that is working on it right now as far as getting that going and getting everything set up. So Texas, looks like right now I'm seeing Tennessee, Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky, Texas, Maryland, Alabama, Kansas. There's actually going to be 5 divisions in Kansas, 2 in Indiana, 2 in Kentucky, North Carolina. There's going to be 1 in New York. We've got somebody coming on there. Looks like possibly Arkansas, Nebraska, Virginia. So yeah, it's taken off quick, and that's just here in a couple weeks. We've got a few of those schedules locked in, it looks like, when I look at their scheduling as far as the check marks on this Excel spreadsheet. But yeah, it's coming on strong, man. I think there's some genuine excitement about the new Jackson Kayak Trail, or USA Bassin Kayak Trail, however you want to call it. Definitely something we're proud to be a part of. Who wants to run a division down there?
Yeah, and for people that don't know, if you've never signed up for the USA Bassin deal, the first year membership's free.
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
I got my card in the mail already. It's in there, but I got it in the mail already set up.
So what they're doing, Ram, is the first year of this USA Bassin Tournament Trail. For any new member that's out there that wants to become a member and come try this thing out, what they do is they offer a no risk entry as far as obtaining a membership, kind of like that. Hey, come see what we're about. Come let us earn your trust.
Right.
So they adopted that when they started this side of the kayaking trail, because kayaking anglers can be we can be a little bit picky.
Right.
So they adopted that into the kayak, which is it's gonna cost USA Bass quite a bit of money. I mean, when you think about all these kayak anglers that are coming into this thing, and however many states I just listed off, and they're saying, "Come try us, let us earn your trust," and that's a big hit out of the gate.
Yep.
So they're going for it, and they want to show kayak fishing what they have to offer, and I think that's pretty cool. And everybody at Jackson thinks it's pretty cool too, as far as just saying, here we are, let's work together and let's try this thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's set up pretty cool, man. I like the way they set it up for like qualifying for the national deal at the end of the season. You get your points set up and fish your events, and then you get a chance. You don't have to travel as much, but you get a chance to go fish against everybody in the nation.
So, yeah. And Brian Drapp's asking, I guess that, or I don't know. Sorry about your last name. I screw things up a lot. You said Nebraska. What city in Nebraska? I don't know. I don't have all that information. I just have a spreadsheet that I look at from the marketing side of things. So I don't have all the exact schedules and locations to everything just yet. And let's see.
All this talk about Oklahoma. How about them Dallas Cowboys?
Oh,
there's another game on right now that just got tied up. We'll worry about the Cowboys later.
Dale's look. You just see like his mannerisms change as he watches TV.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't jump up and down on that last touchdown.
I'm gonna make this thing go into overtime just so we can see like if Dale has a reaction. It's like Dale watch.
Right
now, I'm watching the
looks
game
to the top right.
The game may go into overtime right now.
Everybody looks up there.
We should just display the score on the bottom of the ticker down there at the bottom.
Yeah,
to set that up.
Please do. That'll actually get me to focus on this podcast here, and you won't see me looking up all the time.
Cowboys up 7-0. We're getting ball game reports in now.
There you go.
So yeah, the USA Bassin thing is going to be pretty cool. And if anybody wants to be a director, hit up. There is a USA Bassin kayak group on Facebook. You can get in that. Hit up Jason Cassidy Fishing on Facebook, and he will get you taken care of and get you into all that stuff. So it's going to be exciting to see how that goes. I'm ready to see somebody at the end of this whole year get themselves a brand new NAR FD. That's going to be cool. And yeah, let's roll with it. Dustin says, Ram going to chase some ditch pickles now.
Right.
Dustin, I told him to come up, man. I put him on some.
I'm going to try, man. 2023. That's one of them for sure.
Okay, let's see. We got a question from the what fellows most excited for in kayak fishing for 2023. Well, for me, it's the new USA Bassin Trail. I'm gonna be honest with you. Seeing this thing come to life and coming to life like fast every single day. It seems like somebody's calling, somebody's wanting information. Talking to Jason Cassidy on a near daily basis. I think it's phenomenal, and it's really showing that, man, there's a lot of people out there looking for something different right now. And, hopefully we can get a good grassroots thing, like Jeremy said, get people fishing closer to home, and then have the chance to qualify and go fish a big national tournament. At the rate it's growing, I'd say we're going to have some regional events next year to help curb the qualification numbers back down, but we'll see.
Do you know how many members have joined already?
I don't have that number at all, actually, just yet. So
it's probably a bunch.
I would say so. And if you're in the comments on Facebook, Rudy Yarworth actually has dropped the link in one of the pages that he's watching on, probably the Jackson Kayak main page. So check that out. Let's see. Who else is good?
For me, what I'm most excited about, since I'm in a Coosa HD right now, I still paddle, no motors. So I'm still out on lakes, but that Coosa X, just everything that I would have changed about the HD has been changed in the Coosa X. That rear tank well is massive. The inboard rod holders, that's going to be a game changer. Throw throw a Torpedo on the back of that and take off.
And you got to see it. You guys got to, you and Jeremy both got to see it fresh off the wagon. As far as the new Coosa X goes, what was that first impression when, especially you, Dale, having the old Coosa and then getting to see the Coosa X side by side right there the first time? What went through your mind?
It looked like a miniature NAR, honestly. A lot of the features that are in the NAR got brought over to the Coosa X, but the ability to be on rivers, the being able to spin it on a dime, those little things that I'm used to in a Coosa HD, and literally a giant tank well behind the seat where you can not only have your black pack, but you can put a cooler, you can do all kinds of rigging on the back of it that you can't quite do in the HD, but that I just love the way the Coosa X looks. I can't wait to get in one just to paddle it around.
Yeah, it's a very cool boat. And like you said, it drags a lot over from the NAR. I really love that floor in the new Coosa X. I got to stand on that thing in the factory, man. It was solid. Really liked it.
Yeah, being I wouldn't say a big fellow, but a larger fellow, sturdiness when you stand up and stability in it is good. So that's the big things that I look for when it's time to get a kayak and trade up and all that is, I got to be able to be stable and sturdy in it. I'm like a bull in the china shop, dude. I trip over air. So I got to make sure that it's good to go for, somebody my stature, and I feel comfortable in it. And it gives me the peace of mind that I can go anywhere I want in that boat and not have to worry about jumping in the lake.
Right.
Absolutely. You gonna jump into Coosa X there, Ram? What do you think?
I thought about it. I'm in a NAR right now. Like I said, I had the Coosa FD before I got into a big rig.
Right.
And now I'm in a NAR. And I've actually thought about going into a U-Pick for the 2023 season. But that was before the Coosa, the new Coosa was coming out. So I'm trying to go like light as possible, like we talked about earlier, right?
Right.
Over here, we all run our motors and stuff, and whoever has the biggest, baddest motor, of course, right? I run a Torpedo, three horsepower Torpedo on the NAR.
Right.
So I'm thinking if I can get into a U-Pick or the Coosa, right, the new one, I could go a little bit faster than my fishing partners, right? And that already puts me above the rest,
I will say, I love the NAR, but the OG Coosa is definitely a fun. Coosa FD is definitely a fun boat too. I enjoyed that boat a lot.
I like the fishing platform the U-Pick has. It's just open deck. You got space to walk around. You don't have the drive in front of you, right? Or you don't have anything in front of you or behind you you can cast a fly rod off of it if you want to. Nothing's going to get tangled up on you. So I've been looking real. Of course, that was before the new Coosa even got mentioned, right? All my thoughts on that, but I'd like to see one in person. I'd like to put my hands on it and touch it a little bit and see what.
Get to know her first.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just give it a chance. Give her a chance. Right?
Give her a chance.
I'm kind of opposite. I'm looking at the Take 2.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And dropping the motor on it just because of how open it is, and I can do it. I have a tackle management company called Ant Marine that's here in Longview, and they set up my tackle management system on my NAR. Some of the people have seen some pictures of it, but I'm going to try to do something different on that Take 2, and if it works out the way I have planned, it'll be a lot different than what pretty much everybody else is running. So we'll see what's up with it. But yeah, that's my probably next deal.
Yeah, I think.
Well, as Josh mentioned, the tri-track is on the Coosa X. So tons of track options for. I mean,
right.
I've got my fish finder and my HD mounted on the pod in the middle, but there's so much tri-track I can literally put it anywhere on the Coosa X.
Yeah, Yeah, and I tell you that tri-track is a lot of fun. You don't realize that you want all that stuff stacked on top of each other until you actually start stacking stuff on top of each other, and you're like, "This is great."
You're right.
I've really enjoyed it in the NAR, and there's even more of the tri-track in the NAR than there is the Take Two and the Coosa X. But the Take Two is a very cool boat. I've got one, and that it's amazing. I mean, how well that boat paddles, and then number two, like I think you could haul a semi on it.
Yeah, it's got a pretty heavier.
Don't try that, but
so
yeah, it's probably everybody says, "Oh, you don't have a big rig anymore." Well, you should probably try the Take Two if you're planning on putting a motor on it anyway. I think you would be pleasantly surprised how much that dude will haul.
I talked to the people at Torquedo when they came down to Roy's to talk to us about the assembly and all that stuff, and they said the Take Two was actually a good kayak to put the Torquedos on because of the seat placement. You know, when you have the Torquedo on, you tend to, you know, do this on the water, you know, with the seat placement. It kind of levels you out, you know, it planes you out a little bit on the water.
And you've got a country mile of seat adjustment on that Take Two. But yeah, I'm like Dale. I don't have the motor. I'm 2 horsepower, 2 legs. That's what I got at most of the time, and 2 arm. I guess I could be 4 horsepower, Dale.
Yeah,
could paddle too. So do a lot of paddling. Still do a lot of pedaling. I kind of do both often and a lot. I've just not gotten to the place where I'm ready to put a motor on one yet, and there may come a day. But right now, I'm just not there yet. I'm having too much fun trying to get myself there. And I think that's the beauty of kayak fishing. You can really build it to make it your own.
Right. Hey, don't get me wrong, guys. I paddle too. When I run out of water and I have no choice, I do paddle, you know.
I can see you standing up on an Orion cooler ram with a power pole. Just like
I do that. Man, I do that
me.
a lot.
I singing to me
a lot. Now, most of the time I'll leave the paddle at the house and bring a push pole with me for that reason, you know.
I can see that being really beneficial.
Yeah, a lot of us do it here on the coast, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
Get in that backwater.
Yeah, and that is kind of where the Orion cooler does come in pretty handy, especially you get a standing pad on them, get them standing up on them.
Yep,
it can be a pretty good extra weapon in something like a Take Two, or I don't know if I'd put it in my NAR just because the way that the NAR's set up. I don't want to lose my my rod storage laying down. I like that. Pretty fond of that area. But you know, you can pretty much fit the Orion cooler in all of our boats. So
and it keeps your beer so much colder.
It does. It really does. Let's see. When I ran a motor, I was worried about running out of battery. Anybody that's got a Torquedo wants to fill that question, that'd be awesome.
I got a Torquedo 1104. I want to say it's 1104. It's the 3 horsepower, and I get that question asked a lot. How long does your battery last? Right. If it's a tournament day, then I worry about battery life. Right. If it's not a tournament day, I'm usually off the water by noon. If I haven't caught anything by noon, I need to get back to the house. Right. So that being said, my fishing time is about 5 o'clock, 4 in the morning to noon. That time, I don't believe in throttling down. I'm sure a lot of people are going to get mad at me for that you're not supposed to run your motors full blast. But if the full blast option is there, I'm going to run full blast. That's why I buy the biggest, baddest motor out there to run full blast, right? So my motor is full blast. If I need to move from A to B, I'm going to go over there full blast. So full blast, 4 hours. When I get back to the truck, I'm about 67, 65% battery life still, right? Tournament day, I'm going to be carrying 2 batteries with me because there's a lot of moving parts in tournament day. I don't want my battery to die. I don't want my battery, to fail, right? It hasn't failed on me yet, but I don't want that to happen, So
Absolutely.
Battery life is there for sure.
See, I run the Newport NK180. It lets me run whatever battery I want. I run a Z Pro I ran a 50 amp hour, and I've upgraded to a 65 to try to run just a little longer, because I'll run it in some really nasty grass and pads and stuff. And obviously, put pressure on it like that, it's going to eat the battery up. But with that in mind, I make sure I have a boat that's not a tank to paddle. So in case I have to paddle,
just in case,
I'm not dead. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the good things about that NAR, man. That thing paddles great.
It really does. And I think that's the first thing anybody should do when they get in a new boat is actually take their paddle out and paddle it before they really do anything else. Make sure that they're not going to be hurting by the time they get back, or they have good boat control. What's your guys' choice of battery? Let's hear that one. That's a great question.
If I had to pick, which I don't, well, I have to pick for my depth finder and stuff like that. Those I run the Noqua batteries. But if I had to pick a battery for a motor, I'd go FPV. It's expensive, right? But just the connections, I'm sold on the connections. The waterproof connections are a big deal for me. You know what I mean? Of course, the Torqeedo comes with its own battery, so that kind of takes that away. But if I had to pick a motor, a battery, I'd go FPV for sure.
Very solid.
I'm on the Z Pro team, so I run Z Pro batteries, and I used them before I was on the team. So I've got a 12 volt, 30 amp hour that runs my electronics and my lights. And then, like I said, I just upgraded to a 24 volt, 65 amp hour for my motor. And my graph and lights I can run for like 3 days without running out. And I've got side imaging Humminbird Helix 7, and it runs forever. And it's a lightweight battery, so I don't worry about it messing up the weight in the kayak very much. So I'm balancing it, but that's what I run. So
very nice. You got any?
I got a 13 amp hour off of Amazon for my Garmin side imaging.
There you go. I run a 23 amp hour on my depth finder, just a straight lithium battery. It's a good battery, but there's always something. Always looking to improve the longevity as the screens get bigger on my boat. The battery life gets smaller as it seems. So hopefully have a few upgrades for that coming in 2023 that I'm excited about. Well, we are actually past the hour, and I know everybody's got things to do tonight. So I'm going to let you guys sign this thing off. Tell us where to find you on social media, how to get more, insight on each of you guys. So around the room we go. We'll start with Ram.
You can find me on Facebook, Ram Garcia. You can find me on Instagram, The Spooled Life. And you can find me on Spooled Life Live on Facebook groups. We give a whole bunch of stuff away. We have the best along the coast, and we have a hell of a time on the show.
There you go. Jeremy.
Just Jeremy Baker, or it's actually Jeremy Baker 2 on Facebook. Long story. And then Jeremy Baker Fishing on Facebook is to follow or whatever. Instagram is Jeremy Baker Fishing, and TikTok's the same. So feel free to reach out.
Dale.
I think it's Del Patton 2 as well on Facebook. If not, just search for my name, Del Patton, and same on Instagram. And you guys didn't take long enough. There's 38 seconds. Oklahoma's down by 3 with the ball.
Well, I think we're going to go a little longer. With that being said, Chad Brock here. You guys can find me, as always, at Chad's Bassett on the gram, and all the others. But, with that being said, we will see you guys next episode in 2023. Looking at the calendar. Oh, man. So today's 29th. It will be the 12th. So we'll be back. Orion Podcast. We'll be back in action on the 10th with Jim Salmons. And then we've got another episode of Doc Talk on January 12th. So we will see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Good night. Happy New Year.